Any question from previous class? Any question from previous class? Am I audible? Please give response. So any question from previous class related to del operator, gradient and divergence? If you have gone through the PPT or if you have tried any questions from the Spiegel book or any other source. No questions? Sorry? Okay, today let's discuss one more time del, gradient, divergence and curl, all three, and today I have put a few questions in the slides. The one problem of yesterday, in which 2 omega and 3 more questions. So after that hopefully this topic will be little bit clear in your mind. So let's go again one by one. So del operator, first is del operator. It's denoted by this italic symbol. This is we call a nabla, and it is del by del. See, this we call del by del x, it's its pronunciation, del by del x I cap plus del by del y j cap plus del by del z k cap. So this is the del operator. This is how we read it, del by del x I cap plus del by del y j cap plus del by del z k cap. And this is a normal vector. See, if you put vector sign above del or not, it doesn't matter, it is a vector by default. So if you are using del and if you forget to put the vector sign, then it's not a issue. So this is a normal vector which possesses all the properties of the vector like on ordinary vectors, and the main use of this is defining the gradient, divergence and curl that we define. This is the main use of del operator. So it is defined, just we have to apply this in gradient, divergence and curl. So any problem in defining the del operator?
Sir, if you can show some getting
Yeah, some
getting the del operator.
Only del operator is means the sums is on gradient, divergence and curl, because del will operate on something, because the function of del is to operate, and if it's operate, then either it operate in terms of gradient or divergence and curl. So I will show you sums today. I have put 3-4 new problems, but only del operator has no significance. It is either in terms of gradient, divergence or curl. So that's why I'm asking, only this is only a justification of del. So this is clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So gradient, if del is operating on some scalar function, and if some vector is multiplying with some scalar function, you cannot do the dot product. It's just a simple multiplication like I did in this del into phi. Then this phi, because this phi is a scalar function, it's a direct product. So this phi will come with all three, x, y and z, and this is what we called as a gradient. This is read as a del, grad of phi, a del of phi is equal to del by del x plus del by del y plus del phi by del z k cap. So this del phi is gradient of phi. Any problem till this point? Fourth equation. Okay. And yesterday I have defined the physical significance of gradient also. See that the component of in del phi, if we want any component of del phi, then we have to multiply with the dot product of that vector, and that is called as a directional derivative. Today I will do one problem also related to directional derivative. And directional derivative means the direction in which you want to calculate. You can calculate in any direction, like if you want to calculate it 30 degree, 40 degree, then when this dot product opens, del phi, magnitude of del phi, magnitude of A into cos of theta. So theta will be that theta in which direction you want to calculate that derivative. Any problem till this point? Okay. This problem I showed you on gradient. See, it's some scalar function 3x square y minus y cube z cube. You have to calculate the grad of phi at this point. So since it's a scalar function, you can directly multiply, and when it go inside, it come with all the three components x, y and z. And because it's a partial derivative, the x will operate only on x, y will operate only on y, and z will operate only on z, keeping the other terms constant. So if this del by del x will operate on this first term, so you can see that y cube z square, this term don't have any y x component, so this will goes to 0. So it will operate only on first component, and when you take derivative of x square, it will be 2x, so it will be 6xy. 6xy minus 0. So first term is 6xy I cap. Similarly, this del by del y operate on both terms because both terms include y. When it operate on first terms, del y by del y is equal to 1 and only 3x square remains. Minus when it operate on second terms, the derivative of y cube is 3y square, so it will be 3y square z square z cap. This is the second term. Similarly, del by del z operate only on second term because first term don't have any z component, and when it operates on y cube z square, z square, the derivative of z square is 2z, so it is 2y cube z k cap. So this is a gradient of phi. Any problem till this equation?
No, sir.
Okay. And if you want to calculate gradient of phi at this point, you have to just directly put these points 1, minus 2 and minus 1, that you did, I think. When you put the value of x and y, you will get one vector, and that is a gradient of phi. So this point is clear? Okay. Okay. Let's go to divergence. So again, in gradient, del operates on a scalar function, but if it operates on any vector, you cannot directly multiply. It is either a dot product or cross product. So when del operates with a dot product on any vector, del dot v, it is called as a divergence of v. And we already know that when we do the dot product, only the same component multiply, means I dot I1, j dot j1, k dot k1 and I dot j0, So when you do the dot product of del with v, del by del x come only with v1, del by del y come only with v2, and del by del z come only with v3, like this. Any problem till equation 5?
No, sir.
Okay. So first, you can remember on fingers, del operator, then if del operates on a scalar function, second, third is del operates on a vector function with dot product, and fourth is del operate on a vector function with a cross product, which is called as curl. If del is operating on any vector with a cross product, del cross v, then it is called as a curl of that vector, like I have written in equation 6. And to calculate the curl, we use the same matrix method that we used when we did the cross product of two vectors a and b. Any problem in equation 6?
This equation will be the rotation.
Yes, today I will show you. This equation will basically show the rotation of v. So if the curl of any vector is 0, you can say that that vector is irrotational, because curl directly means physical significance of curl is rotation. Okay. This problem we did related to divergence. We have one vector A, x square z I cap minus 2y cube z square z cap plus xy square z k cap. We have to find the del dot A at 1, minus 1 and 1. So when you del dot A, del by del x operate only on first term, so it is 2xz, and because it's a dot product of two vectors, the result will be scalar. There is no I cap, j cap and k cap in the result, so it operates on this and it is 2xz. Del by del y operate on this, 6y square z square. Del by del z operate on this, it is xy square. So after putting 1, minus 1 and 1, you can write the value of del dot A. So this point is clear.
Sir, it is clear. Divergence and curl are
Clear.
But
Okay.
what is del, sir? Del physical term.
It's a physical operator. You can say that it's an operator. Like when you do the integration and differentiation, you must have studied integration and differentiation in 12th class, na? Yeah, there we used to d by dx. It's an operator basically. So d by dx singly is nothing, means you have to put it with something. You have to apply it on some function, d by dx on x square or d by dx on sin x. When it operates on that function, it changes the value of that function, property of that function. It's same as del. So it operates on any scalar or vector depending on the way how it's operate, either in terms of gradient, either in terms of divergence, or either in terms of curl. So when it operates on any function, either scalar or vector, it changes the property of that function.
Means for divergence, we need to do the dot product with the component of del.
Yes, yes. Okay. Okay. So this actually the one mistake I did is I forgot to write the one more terms, means r1 r2 r3 basically means x I cap y j cap plus z k cap. So today we will do this sums. So physical significance is clear, na? Physical significance of divergence gradient is that it defines the maximum value of d of phi. If it, when theta is 0, it is the maximum value of differential of phi, and physical significance of divergence is the flux, efflux flow, and the physical significance of curl is rotation, as I showed. So let's check this sum. I have done it by hand, so if it's not visible to anyone, let me know, because it's difficult to write all the equation in the PPT. It's visible to all?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So see, V is equal to omega cross R, we have to calculate. Omega is equal to omega 1i plus omega 2j plus omega 3k cap. R is r1i, r2j or r3k, and we can write it x of I plus y of j plus z of k. Wherever you find this R vector, you can directly use x of I, y of j and z of k. Okay. So for calculating curl of V, it is del cross V, and V is omega cross R. So it is del cross omega cross R. So let's first calculate omega cross R. This is omega cross R. So I cap, j cap, k cap. Second row is omega 1, omega 2, omega 3. Third row is R1, R2, R3. I will put in the next step x, y and z. So when you are calculating the I component, you have to hide this one and this one. So it is omega 2 R3 and omega 3 R2, as you can see it there. I cap and this 2 into 2 matrix. When you are calculating the j component, you have to hide this middle one and this top one. So it's again 2 into 2 matrix, omega 1 R1, omega 3 R3. When you are calculating the k component, you have to hide this third one and this first one. it's again omega 1 omega 2 r1 r2. Any problem till this point how I took different metrics in 3 component I, j and k? Clear na? Okay. So now we can open the determinant. This will be omega 2 r3 minus omega 3 r2 I cap minus omega 1 r3 minus omega 3 r1 j cap plus omega 1 r2 minus omega 2 r1 k cap. So this is omega cross r. Any problem in this? Okay. Okay. Now we can put r1 as x, r2 as y, r3 as z. So after putting this we will get this omega 2 z minus omega 3 y I cap minus omega 1 z minus omega 3 x k cap plus omega 1 y minus omega 2 x k cap. Now we have to calculate the cross product of omega cross r with del cross omega cross r. So when you are calculating this, first row is again ijk, second is the del operator which is del by del x, del by del y, del by del z, and third row is this vector which we obtained omega 2 z minus omega 3 y minus omega 1 z minus omega 3 x and omega 1 y minus omega 2 x. Any problem till this matrix del cross omega cross r? Any problem in this matrix? Huh?
No, sir.
Okay. Please all students give response, or either you can respond in chat. If you have any problem, stop me at that point, because there is no advantage of going forward if you have any problem in the previous slides. Okay. So now let's calculate this one. See, when you are calculating the I component, you will hide this one and this one. So you have to multiply del by del y with this whole terms, and because the second term don't have any y, so it will come omega 1, this omega 1 minus, now you have to multiply del by del z with this whole term, and this term again the second term have no z, only first term have z, so it is minus of omega 1 and minus, so it will be plus of omega 1. So first term will come omega 1 plus omega 1 I cap. In the same way, when you are calculating the j component, you have to hide this and this, and when you multiply this and this, you will get omega 2 plus omega 2 j cap. In the same way, when you are calculating the third term, you will get omega 3 plus omega 3 k cap. So if you add this, then you will get 2 bracket में omega 1 I cap plus omega 2 j cap plus omega 3 k cap, and this omega 1 I, omega 2 j, omega 3 k is a omega vector. So this we can write as omega. So this will come as 2 times of omega vector. So we calculate del cross v and we obtained omega, 2 of omega. This 2 is just a number, there is no significance of this. So the main meaning of this is we are calculating the curl and we are obtaining the angular velocity, rotational velocity. So curl is defining the rotational velocity of any vector. Any problem till this point?
No, sir.
Okay, other students, any problem?
No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir.
Okay. So, and one more thing. Sometime I forgot to put the PPT on a full screen presentation mode. Yesterday class I see the recorded version. So please let me remind if I forgot to put it on a full screen mode. Okay. So now discuss the 2 questions which I gave you yesterday test. Because only one student has done the both questions right. Other have done first question right, and there is problem in the second question. So let's discuss both. So the first question is, find a vector normal to the surface x square plus 3y square plus 2z square is equal to 6 at this point. See, whenever you have to find the vector normal to the surface, what you have to do is just take the gradient, because gradient vector is normal to the surface. This point is clear?
Yes, sir.
because it defined the maximum change. Maximum means it. So just take the gradient, and you can take 6 on the opposite side. So we can write this function as x square plus 3y square plus 2z square minus 6, and we can define it as a phi. So now what we have to do is this, we have this phi, and for finding a normal vector we have to find the gradient of phi. So this is the gradient of phi, I del by del x plus I del by del y plus k del by del z, and it will operate on this scalar function x square plus 3y square plus 2z square minus 6, and x operate only on x, so it is 2x I cap. In the same way y operates only on y, so 2y, y square derivative is 2y and 3 to the 6, it is 6y j cap. Z operate only on z, so it is 2z and 2 to the 4, it is 4z k cap. Now we have to calculate this vector at this point 2, 0 and 1. We will put these points 2, 0 and 1. When you put this point, the second term goes because y is 0. So this is come as a 4i cap plus 4k cap, and this is a normal vector. We have to calculate the unit normal. For calculating the unit normal, you have to divide this vector by its magnitude, and we know that magnitude we can calculate the square root of the all the components. So if you calculate the magnitude of this vector, it will be the square root of 4 square plus 4 square, so square root of 16 plus 16, and it is come as a 4 root 2, and 4 is cancelled from numerator and denominator, so we can write 1 by root 2 bracket I cap plus k cap. So this I cap plus k cap by root 2 is the normal vector to this plane at this point. Any problem in this question? Okay, most of you have done this question right. So one student has done this question right. Who is I think Abhik. Abhik, you have done right, or Arhit?
सर बाय मिस्टेक आई डिड 2, मतलब साइन में गलती कर दी है.
अच्छा, आंसर टिक करते टाइम. ओके, कोई नहीं. अभिक तुम्हारा ठीक था ना? ओके, हाँ तुम्हारा था. ओके, या ओनली वन स्टूडेंट हैज. सो the question which I have asked is find A so that this V vector is solenoidal. Solenoidal means the divergence of that vector is 0. So what we have to do is we have to take the divergence of V and put it equal to 0. When we take divergence of V, again del by del x operate on only on x component, I component, del by del y operate on j component, and del by del z operate on k component. So when you take the derivative of first term, the derivative of 3y in with x is 0, so it is come as 1. When you take the derivative of y minus 2z, again 1, and the derivative of x plus az is a, so a is equal to minus 2. I think this question is simple than the previous one. You just have to do the divergence and put it equal to 0, and the dot product of this vector is very simple, it's not that tough. So a is equal to minus 2. Any problem till this point? How means we operate the divergence of V?
No, sir.
Okay. Now I will show you more problems. So are you getting any understanding that how divergence, curl and gradient operates on scalar and vectors? Now all of you, are you getting some idea?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir,
Yes.
I haven't got the physical significance of the tree.
Okay.
Not able to understand.
Okay. You are in. Okay. Who?
Sir, I have got the mathematical
Okay.
property.
Okay. Okay.
It's a physical significance.
Abhik, who is speaking? I am not able to see the name.
Arhit, sir.
Arhit. Okay. Okay. Arhit. Okay. Let me show you few sums today. At the end of the class, I didn't put any test, so we will doubt class. I plan to put a 10 to 15 minute doubt class in which you can ask questions from me. So in that time we will discuss the physical significance of all three. Okay, is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I will clear you at the end of the today's class, no problem. So let's go to the problem. Read the question. All of you have a pen and copy. Please keep the pen and copy. Means I have the solution of all this problem, but please keep the pen and copy with you. So for the function phi xy, function is given x upon x square plus y square. Find the magnitude of the directional derivative along a line making an angle 30 degree with the positive x-axis at 0, 2. You have to find the directional derivative of this function with the line along a line which is making angle of 30 degree with the x-axis at this point 0, 2. So the question is clear to all? Okay. Can anyone suggest me how to do this? Any idea? Any tips? How to start? How to proceed? So this point should be clear that we have to calculate the directional derivative. So it must be understood that we have to calculate the gradient of phi. This point should be clear. So what we have to calculate is the gradient of phi. But the second question is, we have to calculate the directional derivative along a line making an angle of 30 degree with the positive x-axis at this point 0 and 2. So what we will do after calculating the gradient of phi? Can anyone tell me? Any idea?
The dot product.
Can we directly not do this del phi cos 30 degree?
Del phi cross, not cross, means it dot. Yeah, dot. We have,
Phi cos
but not directly 30 degree, because when you calculate the vector at 30 degree, it has two component, I cap and j cap. So you have to take the both component. X component is cos 30 and y component is sin 30. So the vector come out to be cos 30 I cap plus sin 30 j cap. So you have to do the dot product with that vector. Let's see how I will. First we will calculate the gradient of phi. This is phi, this is gradient. So I component will come out to be y square. Just check all of you, either my x and y component should be right. Means this is what I got after doing the derivative of this in terms of x and after doing the derivative of this in terms of y. These are the terms which I got. So please check one time in your copy whether these terms are right or not. Just take 2 minutes and check it. Are you doing?
Yes, sir.
Okay, please do, all of you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, good. All of you try and just let me know whether this x and y components are right or not. Then I will proceed.
I haven't got the how you have done this differentiation partial derivative.
Okay. Let me tell you.
U form is coming,
Sorry?
but after that u by v form it is coming.
So-
After that, how you are doing this?
Okay. So the
In first term 2xy,
Yes, sir. It will be
second term y square minus xy.
no, what is missing?
Sir, both the terms there will be y square minus x square and 2xy also will be there.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Are you taking this x? Are you taking this x as a square? Only x. Okay. Then you must have applied the quotient rule, na? U by v form.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let.
G is g into u minus u into v by v square. So minus u into v.
So if we do in terms of with x, then v as it is, the derivative of first term minus as it is into derivative of second term upon x square plus y square whole square. I think I have written the right. See, when you are doing the derivative of x upon x square or y square with x, so see, first term is v as it is into derivative of u. So v is x square plus y square. So x square plus y square as it is into derivative of x is 1 as it is, minus then x as it is and derivative of x square plus y square, and that is 2x upon x square plus y square ka whole square. So above term will be x square plus y square minus 2x square upon x square plus y square ka whole square, and when you solve it, it will be y square minus x square upon x square plus y square ka whole square. Has anyone got this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
right na? My answer is right.
Yes, sir.
Same in x component also, I think so. Though both component are right. So you got na, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then yeah, then we can proceed. So we got this component. So this is the gradient of phi, and we have to calculate the directional derivative at 30 degrees. See, this is a point.
Sir, can you wait for a few minutes?
Yes, you can do. Should I start?
Sir, once show your that please. The answer.
Yeah. The x component is y square minus x square upon x square plus y square ka whole square.
Sir, in the first one,
Yes.
first component of I cap in numerator is coming x square plus y square minus 2x square.
Yes. If you solve it,
Yes.
it will be y square minus x square, na?
Yes.
Huh?
Right, correct.
Now clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Let's move then. So if you calculate this gradient of phi at this point 0 and 2, then see second term will go because it has x in multiplication. So 0 will make this term 0. Only first term remains. So we will get this vector. Del phi at 0 2 is equal to I cap by 4. You can all check in your copy after putting 0 and 2 whether you are getting I cap by 4 or not. So we have got I cap by 4, and see this is the vector at 30 degree. So the vector at 30 degree will be cos 30 I cap plus sin 30 j cap. So cos 30 is root 3 by 2 and sin 30 is 1 by 2. So we will get this vector root 3 by 2 I cap plus j by 2, sorry 1 by 2 j cap. So this is the vector at 30 degree with this point. Now we have to calculate the directional derivative in this direction. So what we have to do is, whatever del of phi we have got, we have to do the dot product of that with this vector at 30 degree. So directional derivative at 0 to in direction CA, it will be I cap by 4, which is our del phi, dot our CA vector, which is root 3 by 2 I cap plus 1 by 2 j cap. And if you do the dot product, only x component remains, it will be root 3 by 8. So this root 3 by 8 is the directional derivative of phi at 0.02, making an angle of 30 degree with the positive x axis. Any problem in this point?
Not understood.
Okay. Till this point clear? I cap by 4. Okay. See, we have to see this is x axis and this is a line making an angle of 30 degree with the x axis. This point should be clear. So this is a vector CA which is a 30 degree. So if you take its two component, because it's a vector, it must have both x and y component. This component will be sine 30 and this component will be cos so the vector will be cos 30 I cap plus sine 30 j cap, and cos 30 is root 3 by 2 and sine 30 is j by 2. So the vector we have obtained at 30 degrees root 3 by 2 I cap plus 1 by 2 j cap. This point is clear?
Yes, sir.
But now you have to do the dot product with this, that's it. I by 4 dot this vector and you will get root 3 by 8. Any problem till this point?
No, sir.
All of you, this point is clear na? So this,
Yes, sir.
so now see, usually in paper they directly ask to calculate the directional derivative in the direction of any vector. So you just have to do the dot product with the unit vector of that vector, del phi dot a cap. So this is the most complicated question in terms of directional derivative which can come at directional derivative at a certain angle. So if you know how to do this question, you can do the mostly questions of directional derivative, because if they can ask you any angle, 60 degree, 45 degree, what you have to do is just replace this angle. Okay, so let's check another question. So we have r vector x of I cap plus y of j cap plus z of k cap, and r means the magnitude of r and a is a constant vector. What we have to calculate is divergence of a cross r upon r ki power n. So this is the question, a cross r upon r ki power n. We have to calculate the divergence of a cross r upon r ki power n. So how
Then can you repeat the question once more?
these things are visible. R vector is equal to x of I cap plus y of j cap plus z of k cap, and r means the magnitude.
R equals to how much?
X of I cap plus y of j cap plus z of k cap. You can see from PPT. PPT is not visible?
Yes, sir. Sir, no. R after R equals to what you wrote?
Magnitude of r vector, modulus of r.
Oh, okay.
है ना? So we defined magnitude by modulus. Yeah.
A is equal to
A is a constant vector, a1i plus a2j plus a3k. So what we have to calculate is divergence of a cross r upon r ki power n. These kind of questions are very common in divergence and curl, where you will get to see r cap, r ki power n, r ki power 3 by 2. So I am doing one question and you can try other from the Spiegel book. Spiegel book have many problems if you check its exercise. And if you face any problem in any question, just post the photo of that question in the WhatsApp group. I will solve it and show you in the next class. Okay. So for calculating this, first we have to calculate a cross r. So A cross R. First row is ijk.
Sir, what is constant vector? Constant vector
Means
R is also a constant.
no, R depends on x, y and z.
Okay.
Constant vector means these a1, a2, a3 are numbers, either 1, 2. If you take derivative of it, then it will be 0. This is why we are calling it as a constant vector. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So let's first calculate A cross R. First row is ijk, second is a1, a2, a3, third is x, y, z. When you solve it, you will get this a2z minus a3y I cap. You can check whether you are getting same as I am getting or not. Then I will do the next step. This first step should be clear. This is a simple cross product as we are doing in the previous question. For calculating I component, we can hide the first row and first column. For calculating the z component, we can hide the second column and first row, and then we will get this. Just check one time quickly whether this A cross R is right or not.
करेक्ट है सर.
Correct है ना? Okay.
Correct.
Okay. So now what we need is A cross R by R की power n. A cross R upon R की power n, and R means the magnitude of R vector, and we know how to calculate the magnitude. Magnitude is square root of x square plus y square plus z square. So if you calculate the magnitude of this R vector, it should be square root of x square plus y square plus z square. So if you put the square root of x square plus y square plus z square in place of R, you will get this x square plus y square plus z square की power n by 2, and I have written that magnitude of R is equal to root x square plus y square plus z square. Any problem till this point? How we obtain this A cross R upon R की power n? Then we will calculate its divergence.
No, sir.
This point is clear?
Yes, sir.
I have done nothing, just I have put the value, this square root I have put there, and since it's square root, it will come 1 by 2 and n, so it will be n by 2. So now we have this bracket term A cross R upon R की power n. Now what the only step remaining is the divergence, means dot product of this with del. So now we will do the divergence. Del dot A cross R.
Go to the previous page once. I have
Yeah,
write it.
yeah. I will send you PPT again. In yesterday PPT I have not put all these problems. I will send you PPT again.
Sir, how it is coming to the power of n by 2?
Yeah, that's what I explained at the end. This n is clear, na? See, it is square root of x square plus y square plus z square. So you can write it as x square plus y square plus z square की power 1 by 2. And if you 1 by 2 into n is n by 2. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now we have to do the divergence. So del, this is del operator, and this is A cross R upon R की power n, which we calculate. So again, when you apply divergence, x operate only on I part, y operate on z part, and z operate on k part. Let's check one by one. This operate on this. So see, the numerator don't have any x term, it has z and y. So we don't have to do the derivative of numerator, we have to do the derivative of only denominator. So when you do the derivative of x square plus y square plus z square की power n by 2, if you take it above, then it will be x square plus y square plus z square की power minus n by 2, and if you take it del by del x, then you will apply the rule nx की power n minus 1. So it will come out to be x square plus y square plus z square की power minus n by 2 minus 1. And again we have to do the derivative of this bracket term, and it come out to be 2x. So when you do the derivative of this n by 2 comes, and this denominator terms comes, then we have to do again the derivative of x square plus y square plus z square, then this 2x term comes. Any problem in the first term, means the derivative of
not got the calculation.
Okay, you didn't understand the calculation.
Minus n by 2 how it is coming.
Okay, how you do the derivative of x ki power n? If I ask you a derivative of x ki power n, what is the answer? What you tell me?
N minus x to the power n minus 1.
Yeah, n x ki power n x
Minus 1.
है ना? Okay. Now what you do is just take this term, because it's in denominator, just take it in the numerator, then it will be x square plus y square plus z square ki power minus n by 2, is not it?
Yes, yes.
Now do the derivative of that. So when you do the derivative, you will apply the same rule, nx ki power n minus 1, and now n is minus n by 2. So this minus n by 2 comes.
Sir, because all of the terms in numerator are constant, so you put that denominator to numerator.
See, not constant, the point is the numerator don't have any x component, and del by del x operate only on x, means because it's a partial derivative, if the term which don't have any x, it will not operate on that, and the numerator have only z and y, so we can leave that, it is as it is, so it will operate only on the denominator.
We could have also applied quotient to
Yeah, you can apply, you will get the same answer. Then the numerator will be 1.
Sir,
You-
what is x square plus y square plus z square to the power n plus 2 by 2?
Yeah, n plus 2 by this 2 is over the whole, means I forgot to put the bracket. You got it? Okay. So is it clear to all now how I got the first term? Because all three terms are same, only difference is in x, y, z. So if one term is clear, then next two terms is definitely clear. Just tell me if you have any problem in the first term.
Sir, I have one problem.
Yeah, yeah,
If you put that denominator to numerator,
yes.
then we do the derivative of it.
Mm-hmm.
How come it again can come back to denominator?
Okay, you can convert it, means if something is x ki power minus 1, you can take it again in the denominator, it will be x ki power 1, is not it? I took it in the numerator just for solving, but at the end I have to put it in the denominator, so that the question will be clear. You can do by quotient rule also, which you are telling, you will get the same answer. Since this one is easy to do, if I take it in the numerator and directly apply the formula of x ki power n, then it's very easy to do. That's why I did it in this way. You can do it by quotient rule also. There is no restriction. The answer
Sir, after applying n minus 1,
uh-huh.
bring back the n minus 1.
Yes, yes. Now clear? And so this term will come in the same way when you do the derivative. Yeah, someone is asking.
Can the calculation be more simplified? Sir, can you simplify it? This is difficult. I am not getting.
Simplify means yes, yes.
Sir, in the first term that a to z minus a3 y
Uh-huh.
into I cap.
Yes, yes.
Sir, that one, sir, there is no x component, so it will automatically become 0.
Yes, sir. It,
No, no.
there is no x component.
Yes. See, if just
So then why we are writing that term?
No, no, no.
That we can
It is-
only
it's in multi. Just tell me. Just tell me one.
When we
Huh.
apply,
Huh.
sir, if we apply quotient rule,
Uh-huh.
then this term will be left out of it.
Yeah, this. Yeah. Just tell me one thing. When you are taking the derivative of 6x square, what will be its derivative? Or 6x ki power n. What is the derivative? 6x ki power n.
nx 6 n minus
6 will be there, na? 6 is not gone. 6 n x ki power n minus 1. So 6 will be there, is not it? So this,
yes, sir.
so this is that term, because for x this is full bracket is constant. So this will be there, this will not go any, if you even if you apply quotient rule, this term will come when you take the because in that also the first term is the derivative of denominator into numerator, so in that this term will be there. Now clear? Okay. Anyone want to ask anything? Because next two terms are exactly same, just the only difference is other, instead of 2x there is 2y, instead of 2 x there is 2z, because the second derivative is in terms of y and third derivative is in terms of z. So all three terms are almost same, just a difference of this. So now we have got these terms, and see n by 2 is common, the numerator is common, this 2 will cancel out with this 2, so we can take the common terms out. We take this common terms out and this will remain inside. a2z plus a3yx minus a1z minus a3xy plus a1y minus a2xz, and if you solve this you will get 0.
Sir, instead of this one, that was only I am telling that from the beginning only the whole divergence is coming 0 only.
From the beginning, how you got it 0 without solving? That's what I didn't understand.
Sir, see, sir, I cap del by del x into means dot I cap whole a2z minus a3y by x square plus y square plus z square whole to the power n by 2.
Yes.
Sir, in that term, sir, there is no x term, so the numerator is coming 0.
Yes.
So automatically the
No,
whole
the
becomes 0 only.
no, this you are getting right answer, but the way is wrong, because the denominator has x. So if you cannot directly do the derivative of the numerator, denominator also has x term, na? You have to do the derivative of both. So you will get 0 only after adding all derivative of all the three terms. The
Actually, it is in u by v form.
sorry.
U by v form.
Yeah, it's a u by v form. So you have to do the derivative of both. You cannot directly do the see, again take one example. If I ask you to do the derivative of a upon x ki power n, what it will be? A upon x ki power n. Is it directly 0? No, na? That's what I am telling. Yeah, you have to apply full formula. You are getting right answer because its answer is 0, but it's not necessary, but we are getting 0 after adding all the three terms, but you cannot put directly 0. If you put directly 0, maybe in the answer teacher will give you some marks because your answer is right, you start doing the question, but the middle steps are wrong, so you will not get the full marks. If this question is of 3 marks, you will get either 1 or 1.5. Now understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now this question should be clear to all, how we obtain the divergence of this term, and you can check more question of this kind, r ki power n from the Spiegel book. Please, I am again telling all of you, please do questions, because the vectors you can understand only when you do more problems. If you do more problems, you will understand all the concept, divergence, curl, how to operate. So this one,
No, the next page.
this one.
Next one.
So should I start the next question?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the next question is, show that the gradient field describing a motion is irrotational. It's a simple question, means there is some function. If this question is asking that the
Can you zoom it?
sorry,
Can the PPT we zoomed, sir.
Actually,
You can do it by yourself, Adit. Zoom it.
in your that you can zoom in.
I am doing in laptop, sir. That's why.
So if I put it in the, just a minute, let me.
Okay, sir.
Is it bit clear now?
Yes, sir.
Huh?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. So show that the gradient field describing a motion is irrotational. Means the gradient of any field is irrotational, means the curl of that field, the curl of gradient of that field should be 0. Okay. So we have taken a one field f of xyz. First we will calculate the gradient of f. Gradient of f is simple, del f by del x I cap plus del f by del y j cap plus del f by del z k cap. We have to show that this gradient of f, this is irrotational. So we all know that irrotational basically means the curl should
Sir,
be.
is this? No, sir, I understood.
So the curl basically means the irrotational basically means the curl of this should be 0. So now what we will do is we will calculate the curl of this. So curl of gradient del cross del f means cross product of this whole function. Then we take the matrix form I cap, j cap, k cap. First row is the del operator, del by del x, del by del y, del by del z. Second row is this gradient of f, del f by del x, del f by del y, del f by del z. Yeah, please.
I did not understand the question.
Okay, just read this question one time by yourself and tell me if you are getting any idea what this question is asking, then I will tell. If
And that if the gradient field is, we need to show that if gradient field is decreasing, motion is irrational.
decreasing, no, decreasing, I have not written decreasing anywhere. It describing it, this one is describing this, assume that this question is in exam and then what you understood after reading this question.
Irrotational means curl will be 0.
Yes, exactly, irrotational means curl will be 0, and what you have to show irrotational is gradient field. Gradient field means the gradient of any function. The gradient of any function is irrotational, that you have to show. So you have to take first function, any function, means other than, you can take phi xyz or u xyz, v xyz. I have taken f, but you can take any function. Then you have to show that the gradient is irrotational. So first you have to take its gradient, then you have to take the curl of the gradient, and then you have to check whether it's coming 0 or not. So this point now clear? So, okay, that's what I am doing. So this is gradient, then we are calculating the curl of the gradient. So this is the matrix form. Okay. So this, when you solve this matrix, you will get this I cap del square f upon del y del z minus del square f upon del z del y, this and this. These both terms are same. See, you can see that in the numerator is same, but in the denominator y is coming first and in the second term z is coming first. But it's the property of this partial derivative that you can interchange this. Means either y is operating first or z is operating first, it will not make any effect. So these both terms are same, so it is 0. These both terms are same, it is 0. These both terms are same, it is 0. So we are getting answer 0. Any problem in this question?
Not understood how it is explained.
How?
Sir, that calculation.
Okay, you have you written the matrix which I asked you to write? Just write the first row as the ijk, second row as the del operator, del by del x, del by del y, del by del z, and write the third as the gradient of f. All of you please write. All of you have the
Show that one.
yes, yeah, this is the matrix. Just a minute. Write this matrix, then you can solve.
Yes, sir.
Done.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, it came 0.
It came 0, na? So
Yes, sir.
what you understood from this, that when the curl of any gradient function is 0, means that gradient of any field is irrotational. This is what this question asks, na? It show that the gradient of any field is irrotational, and irrotational means we have to take the curl and it should be 0. So this point is clear to all.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
now are you getting any idea or any picture of gradient, divergence and curl after solving these 3, 4, 5 problems?
Sir, I have got
Yes,
the
sir.
idea of all, but divergence and gradient, sir, physical significance.
Physical significance is still a little bit confusing, huh? We will discuss now. Okay, we will discuss one more time, no problem. So what is gradient, that you have understood, na?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me go to the physical significance slide one time. Yeah. So this del operator is clear, this gradient is clear, this problem. So this is clear. What is the physical significance of curl?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
So this I showed you also today, all calculation, that if you solve this omega cross r, we will get 2 times of omega. This means basically the curl is defining the rotation. So let's discuss the gradient. See, this is gradient. Del of phi is equal to del phi by del x plus del phi by del y j cap plus del phi by del z k cap. And if we have to define the differential of phi, we can write that in terms of partial derivative and differential like this: del phi by del x dx plus del phi by del y dy plus del phi by del z dz. This is step 8th, equation 8. This is clear. This I told you that we can define this and we can write any function in terms of partial derivative. If it depends on 3 terms, then there are 3 terms in this. If there is one more term in this, like u or v, then there are 2 more terms. Now we can break this as a 2 terms. One is this vector del phi by del x I cap plus del phi by del y j cap plus del phi by del z k cap, and dot we can write this dx dy dz, dx I cap plus dy j cap plus dz k cap. This 9th step is clear. Equation 9.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now this first term is gradient of phi, and this second term is dr vector. So we can write is as a del of phi dot d of r vector, this. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if you expand the dot product, then this cos theta comes. This magnitude of del of phi into magnitude of d of r into cos theta. So this point is clear. Where theta,
Yes, sir.
है ना? Now if you take theta is equal to 0, theta is equal to 0 means del phi and dr is in the same direction, and the maximum value of cos theta is 1, and it's when theta is equal to 0. So it is that direction where d phi is maximum.
Sir, then one question.
Yes, yes.
Sir, when cos theta will be maximum, means when it will be 1,
Mm-hmm.
then gradient will be the minimum.
No.
So
How
gradient is
how you
the slope.
got this, that the gradient is minimum?
Sir, gradient is here depicting the slope.
Yes.
So sir, both are their angle between them is 0. So there is no slope.
Yeah, there is no slope because the both vectors are parallel. But this is the property of it is the property of this gradient. Then it is parallel to the dr vector. Then the this derivative d phi is maximum. That's why we call it a gradient of phi. In the same way, when we are calculating the directional derivative, today we calculate it at 30 degree. If we calculate at 90 degree, then it will be maximum.
Yes sir. So that only I said, well, if you calculate it at 0 degree, then it will be minimum.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay sir.
So now this point should be clear. है ना? Okay. So any problem? So the last is the physical significance of divergence. So is there any problem in physical significance of divergence also?
No, sir.
So now del operator is clear, gradient is clear, divergence is clear, and curl is clear. We have solved the problems also. I think I have done.
Divergence, 1 second. Yes.
Oh, you want divergence one more time?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So see, this is yesterday what I am discussing is, consider a water flowing through this through any way, and we have taken a one small element from that, one small area volume element describing x component, x is dx, y is dy, and z is dz. So dx, dy, dz. So the volume of this is dx, dy, dz. So first we will calculate the outflow through these two planes which I have marked. This front plane and this is the xz plane basically. Xz planes means the area is dx into dz.
Dr. Vaibhav,
Yes sir.
you are not recording this class?
Yes, I am recording. It's because I am recording through different software, so I am recording.
Oh, okay.
Because I didn't get official ID yet. So
Yes, yes, yes.
okay sir, okay. So I am audible to all, na?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay. Yes, you can ask. Yes, ask. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Someone is asking question. Okay, so these are the two faces. First, the area of both faces dx and dz. If you take the normal to this front plane, this normal is in the positive y direction, and if you take normal to the back plane, this one is in the negative y direction. So the area of this is minus dx dz j cap, and the area of this is dx dz j cap. This area element is clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now this figure and this area element are clear. Now let's calculate the fluid efflux one by one. So the component of vector A in z direction, sorry, y direction, should be A dot j. We know that when we have to calculate the component of any vector, we have to do the dot product with the unit vector. So the unit vector is j. So when you do A dot j cap, it will be A of y. And if you calculate,
Here y is the function.
this y is not a function, this is showing the component x, y. This y is a function where we have written in the bracket. This this superscript show that it's a y component, like we write ax, ay, az na in the numerical question problems.
Yes, sir.
This is that. So when you calculate the flux of this, we know that flux means the dot product with the area. So A dot ds, when you expand this A dot ds, this will come, this y component, A of y, and this area is dx dz. So, and A is the mass flowing per unit area per unit time. So if you multiply A with the area, so that will be mass per unit time. So this is the mass of the water flowing per unit time through the front phase. Front phase means this phase. This point is clear?
Sir, here A is the mass of the water
Mass of the water flowing per unit area per unit time.
per unit area.
Per unit area per unit time. So see, it has per unit area. So if you multiply it by area, only per unit time remains. So flux is A ds, A into area. So if you multiply A by area, then that will be mass of the water flowing per unit time only.
Per unit time.
Yeah, so clear na?
Got it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the way in which we calculate the back face, in the same way we calculate with this front face, and this will come out to be this. Because now what we have done is, if this is y and this distance is dy, we have moved from y to y plus dy. So that A vector changes according to this y plus dy, and I have told you that we can write this differential in terms of derivative, del ay upon del y into d of y. So this is the flowing outward from the front face, and that one is from the back face. If you add both of these terms, then this term will cancel out, because this one is negative plus positive 0. So we will get only this whole term, del ay upon del y, dx dy dz, and dx dy dz we can write as a volume element, d of v. This point is clear?
Yes.
So this is the contribution from the xz plane, and we can get similar contribution from the other two planes. So if we add all three components, we will get this, and this term we can write as a divergence of A, del dot A. So we started with the efflux, we are calculating the efflux, and what we are getting is the divergence of A. So divergence of A is showing the efflux, means the water flowing outward. So this is the physical significance of this. Now any problem? So now is it clear to all that what is the physical significance of all three vectors, means all these three, gradient, divergence and curl, and how to do it?
Yes, sir.
So I have showed, I think we have almost done 7 to 8 questions in class, including all. So now I have to start the new topic, but I am not starting today. You can ask more problems if you want to ask. So today we have 2 classes, na? So I combined it. So I will leave you around 11 o'clock. So you have half hour break before your next class. Okay?
Yes, sir. Sir.
Yes.
That, flux can be of any type, like electrical flux, also magnetic flux.
Yeah,
any type of flux.
it depends what is the A vector. If you take it as a magnetic field, then it's a magnetic flux. If you take it as an electric field, then it's electric flux. If you are taking some other, then it's some other.
Okay, sir.
Okay?
Yes, sir. Got it.
Any other question? You can ask questions today. Means we still have a 10 minutes, so you can ask. Any other question to other student? There is one new student, Pragya. You want to ask any question?
No, sir.
You getting some idea today? Yeah, because I repeated almost all gradient, divergence and curl, and before gradient there are the topics which you studied in your 12th class, like dot product, cross product, and what are the properties of vector. But I discussed with the sir yesterday. I think within this week they will upload the video recording, so you can check my previous lecture and you will understand those topics also. If you face any problem, let me know. Okay? Other students, ask any question if you have any from the PPT or even from outside the PPT or any other related question. Let me know.
Sir, difference between gradient and curl.
Okay, difference between gradient and curl. Difference in terms of mathematics, you are asking.
Both physical and mathematics.
Okay. See, physical significance, we just discussed that curl define the rotation and gradient is the directional derivative, means it's a directional vector in particular direction, and curl is defining the rotation. So if any vector is irrotational, so the curl of that vector should be 0, but gradient is operating on a scalar function, so it don't have any relation with like rotation or anything like that. And if you discuss about mathematics, then gradient always act on a scalar function and curl is with the vector. The resultant of both is a vector, because the cross product gives us a vector and gradient also giving us a vector, but the difference is the gradient is operating on a scalar and curl is operating on a vector.
Okay, sir.
Now clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other question? No question? Okay. So just a minute.